بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. My dear student, good morning to you all. Today inshallah we will continue taking our lesson for the third year. My name is teacher Inaz Al-Hdathi. So I hope you have your books ready and I hope you are excited. So as we learned before, the name of our unit is called Travel and Transportation. Travel and Transportation. This is the second lesson. As you remember, in the previous lesson, we introduced different kind of transportation like cars, plane, train, ship. Very good. How do you go to your school? We answered this question by saying on foot, by bus, by car, by train. Very good. So our lesson will be totally grammar. You will find it at page 24 and 25. We will take the first part and we will continue in the second class. So this was our lesson, our previous lesson. As I told you, it was about transportation. How do you get to your job? How do you get to your work? How do you get to the mall? Okay, we use transportation for that. Okay, this is the cover of Unit 2. You will find our lesson at page 24. So let's try to start by doing this exercise. Write the correct word. As you can see, I have the words ship, train, car, bicycle, yacht, scooter, airplane, helicopter, bus, and so on. Let's try to do it, and I hope you have some notebooks to write with me. So the first picture, what do you think? It's an airplane. Very good. Airplane. Next one I have, we already know this. It's a car. Very good. It is a car. Very good. Next one I have is a bicycle. I have a bicycle, or we can go short for bike. Bicycle or bike. Next one I have is scooter. Very good. The next one I have is a ship. Very good. The next one I have is a train, yacht, and helicopter. Let's try to go between the lines. And the last picture I have is a bus. So these are different kind of transportation. How do you get to your job? By car, by train. Maybe if it's nearby, you will go on foot. Very good. So these are different kind of transportation. So let me talk a little bit about the grammar we are discussing today, and it's a very important one. Today, inshallah, we will talk about simple present tense. What do we mean by simple present tense? Or when do we use simple present tense? Let me give you an example. I am a teacher. I live in Riyadh. Okay, so when I talked about myself and where do I live, I use the present simple because this is the permanent situation. This is my life. This is my routine life. So I use the simple present. This is my daily routine. I live in Riyadh forever. This is my permanent situation. Okay, so I used simple present tense. I am a teacher. He is a doctor. He lives in Al-Khubar, for example. So I use the present simple to talk about the permanent condition, what's going on with you forever, or to talk about your daily routines. Not necessarily something you do every day, but something you do routinely, maybe every month, every week, or every year, for example. Okay, so let's go by reading some examples. Simple present tense. I have some words and we will talk about them later this class. I have always, usually, often, sometimes, or never. Show how often things happen. So the question was, how often I will be using the adverbs of frequency. Let's go and let's read these examples first. Dad always cooks the dinner. Mom usually gets up early. Mona often surfs the net. Sammy sometimes bangs the door. Huda never goes to school late. So let me underline the verb here that proves that we are talking about the present simple tense. As you can see, I have these words: cooks, gets, surfs, bangs, and goes. As you can see, all the verbs here ends in S, sometimes in ES, depends on the last letter. But it describes something that happened routinely or daily. This is their lives. This is their permanent condition. Dad always cooks dinner, okay? This is his daily routine. Mom usually gets up early, and so on. Let's go to the next one and you will understand it better. So, as you noticed before, we said that all the verbs ends in S, but not necessarily that will be the case. As you can see here, for the simple present affirmative, if the sentence is not negative, so as you can see in this flower, I have the four pronouns you, we, I, and they. And in the middle, I have the verb like, no S. So I like, you like, we like, they like. Very good. So I don't need S here. Okay? Remember, we are talking about the simple present tense. But then for the next flowers, I have three pronouns. She, he, it likes. She likes, he likes, it likes. Here I have an S with the verb. Okay? So remember, sometimes it's S, sometimes I have ES. Okay, so let's go through it one more time. For the simple present, I use it to talk about the permanent condition or status, or my daily routine or habits or things that are happening from time to time, and we'll be discussing the adverbs of frequency. I have the four pronouns. You need to remember this is very important. I, you, we, they, like, no S in the verb. We don't need S. But for the second part, for the second flower, I have he, she, it likes. Likes, we need S, sometimes ES. Now, as you can see, I put it small to your left. So let's try to answer the questions here. Complete with the correct words or complete the missing spaces. She, we need to complete it with the verb here. She, what do you think? S or no S? She plays. Very good. She plays. I'll try to do this as fast as I can. Plays. Okay. We do. Very good. We do our homework because I have we. I have the pronouns she here and it takes S, but we don't need S. How about they? How about they? No S. Very good. They live at that house. They live at that house. You, what do you think? S or no S with a study? No S. You study. Very good. You study. Very good. For the next one, I have he. He wash. What do you think? S or no S? Very good. S, but not S only. ES. He washes his hands before eating. He washes his hand before eating. So, the next one I have is this. This dog, this, remember dog, we use it with the pronoun it. So, it drinks. Very good. Drinks. So, we need S here. Drinks. We eat 3 pieces of fruit every day. So, let's go through the examples one more time. She plays. We do. They live, you study, he washes, this dog drinks, and we eat, Let's go to the next one. As I told you, we'll be discussing the adverbs of frequency. What do we mean by this? If I ask you, how often do you take a shower? Or how often do you go to Mecca, for example? You will be probably using one of these words, okay? I go to Mecca, or I sometimes go to Mecca, or I seldom, or I always go to Mecca. You'll be using one of these adverbs of frequency that goes with simple present tense. Starting from the first one to your right, I have always. It means something that's happening all the time. Like what? Like praying, like obeying or listening to our parents. Like eating, sleeping. Okay, so I have it at 100%. Let's go back and try to use the marker now. So I have it at 100%. For usually, I have it still high, but not as high as always. I have it at 90, sometimes 95%. Generally, often, sometimes, occasionally, seldom, rarely, and never. The most important here, I have always, usually, sometimes, rarely, and never. And we will have it later in our class. Let's go to the next one. Now, let's read these three examples together. Now I mix the simple present with the adverbs of frequency. Let's start with the first one. I usually have fruit, bread, and eggs for breakfast. Usually, remember, usually is high, but not as high as always. Okay? I usually have fruit, bread, and eggs for breakfast. The next one, I sometimes, that's 50-50, have chips for lunch. The last one, I never have cake for dinner. Never, like 0%. Okay? So I have usually, sometimes, and never here. Let's go to the next one. Okay, let's try to do this one. How often do you read a book? As you can see, I try to give you the percentage. Remember, usually is not 100%. I sometimes or I often read a book. What do you think? I often. Very good. How often does Hind go to the mall? How often does Hind go to the mall? Okay, by looking at the shape here. Always or sometimes? Sometimes. Very good. Sometimes. How often does Jude go to bed late? Often or never? Now I have it empty, so it is never. Very good. Never. The last one, how often do you do your homework? How often do you do your homework? I often or I always? Always. Very good. Very good. So I have here often, sometimes, never, and always. And always. Very good. Let's go to the next one. Now, you have this at your book at page 24. Please have your books ready and be ready to take any marks if necessarily. Okay, I will have it zoomed in a minute. Let's go to the... Now, as I told you, we'll be talking about simple present. This is at page 24. Let's read together. I wake up early every morning. You come to school at 7. We sleep early. They read in the library. Now, I need you to pay attention to the words that are written in red. They are all verbs. They are all simple present verbs, but they don't have any S because of the pronoun I, you, we, they. It takes no S. But going to the right side, he eats on the dining table. She cooks on a stove. It drinks milk. So I have S here, eats, cooks, and drinks. Why is that? Because I have he, she, and it. Okay, let's read the examples one more time. I wake up early every morning. You come to school at 7. We sleep early. They read in the library. To your right, he eats on the dining table. She cooks on the stove. It drinks milk. S. Very good. Okay, let's go to the next part. Now, I have this exercise. Let's try to do it together. Also, you will find it at page 24. Don't forget that. Complete the sentences by choosing the correct form of the verb. So again, our lesson is simple present tense. Sometimes I have S, sometimes I don't. Depends on the pronoun that I have. Okay, so my sister Lubna and I wake up or wakes up at 9 o'clock every Thursday. Now I have a trick. You can say my sister she. So you will go directly for wakes up. Or you can say the pronoun I have I, so I will go with wake up. But I have them both. My sister and I. So both of us, we we. So what's the pronoun? So all these, I can replace it with the word we. So we wake up. Very good. We wake up at 9 o'clock every day or every Thursday. Wake up. Number 2. After I, this is an easy one. What do you think? Eat or eats? Eat or eats? After I eat. Very good. After I eat breakfast, my cousin Sarah, she, what do you think? Come or comes? My cousin Sarah comes to our house. Very good. Comes to our house. Number 3. We cook or cooks lunch for the family. What do you think? We cook or we cooks? We cook, no S. Very good. We cook lunch. Number 4. They like or they likes our food. What do you think? S or no S? No S. Again, they like our food. Very good. Number 5. We sleep or we sleeps for an hour before prayers. The answer is we sleep. Very good. No S. Remember, I only use S if the pronoun is she, he, it, Ahmed, Muna, or the dog or the cat. Okay? Otherwise, it's always no S. Let's go to the next one. Now, also we discussed the adverbs of frequency. Okay? This is very important one. Adverbs of frequency. I'll try to mix it here with our grammar, the simple present. I have always, usually, sometimes, and never. And you have the percentage right here. So I have always, it's so high, 100%, something that we do all the time, like praying, like eating, like obeying or listening to our parents. I have usually, that is 90 to 99, often, sometimes, and never, that is 0%, something that we never do, like lying or stealing. Okay, so let's read the examples. I always buy frozen vegetables. We usually eat frozen vegetables. They sometimes buy frozen vegetables. Okay, so as you can see, I, you, we, they, doesn't take any S here, so no S. I don't have S here. We don't need S. But I have he, she, and let me add it. Okay. He, she, it, as you can see, buys, eats, very good, frozen vegetables. So let's go through the examples one more time. I, you, we, they take the verb buy, eat with no S. Well, I have he, she, it, eats with S. Keep this in mind. Okay, let's try to read this as fast as we can. For the present simple, we have he, she, it. As I told you, sometimes it takes S, sometimes it takes more than S. Okay, for live here, I just add S. Sits, S, says, I just add S. But sometimes if I have it end in a consonant plus Y, I will change it to IES, okay, like tries. I will change the Y to IES, cry or carry. Also, I will replace the Y into IES, as you can see here. For the next one, if it's end in S, Z, CH, X, or ES, like wash, okay, you will have to add ES, messes, buzzes, catches, fixes, and washes. The last one I have, or the exceptions that I have, is go. You will have goes, ES, and do, does, ES. Okay, so let's try to remember what we've learned in this lesson. In this lesson, we discussed a very important grammar rule that's called simple present tense. We talked how we use I, you, we, they with the verb with no S, while we use she, he, it with the verb with S, sometimes ES. So that was our lesson. We will continue next time. Until I see you next time, stay safe. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.